Greetings, everybody. My name is Knight, and today I'm going to be talking about chakras. I'm also going to be talking about moon phases, the ley lines on Earth, and how all these things affect your body and how it can help you maneuver through life easier. But number one, chakras. Now, when I mean by chakras, right, I'm not talking about like your normal chakra healing, like, oh, you need to heal your heart, or you need to heal this, that, and the third. Give me this, or keep focusing on opening your pineal gland. No, no, no. I'm not talking about that. So what people don't know is, right, I have this right here. I drew this, okay? So these are your chakras, right? So we're already born, with all this in us, okay? But what you don't know is, which I don't really see many people talking about, is that as soon as you become like the age of 1, right, and you get to a certain development stage, it's your grounding stage, root chakra. Around that time, between 1 and 2, kids are learning how to walk. That's why it's 1. It's like the root chakra, 1. Now, it doesn't mean kids couldn't, how can I say, learn to walk earlier or later, but most children, I should say, 1, root chakra, right? You're realizing that you're in a human body. Your brain is getting more mature, and it's just pretty much a self-realization, grounding, okay? Very basic. So it's like you go from crawling to walking. Then you have the sacral chakra. You're creating things. Kids want to touch, they want to feel, they want to smell their mom, they want to smell their dad, they want to do things to figure out why is this world created. They're doing this subconsciously. They don't even know. Like little babies, they don't know. They're doing all this stuff, this creative energy, right? And the sacral chakra is just trying to, figure out why is this happening. And it's formulating ways to realize, okay, if I do this, I can create a way to get my mom to come over here. So if I cry, all right, now I created this energy within me to bring her to me. Solar plex, confidence. The child standing strong. It knows how to play. It sees the toys. It's confident. It's happy. It's feeling comfortable around its parents and knows where everybody is. Then the heart is getting more attachment by the time it's 4 years old, right? Because I forgot to tell you 1, 2, 3. So, and then 4, the heart, 4 years old, it's even more loving. It's not saying it wasn't loving the whole time, but it's definitely in this heart space, things of that nature. And it's doing everything in a very, very emotional way, even more than normal, whether it be crying or anything like that. Not saying it wasn't doing that before, it definitely was, but it's definitely more tuned in his heart. Because what I'm trying to get at is here, every year, you're supposed to learn a lesson through all these chakras. So eventually, right, when this child is at the age of 5, it's going to start speaking even more, better than what it has done before. Then 6 years old, it's starting to like see spirits and ghosts. You might start hearing children saying that saw spirits or anything like that. And some kids might see it at 3 like I did. But at the end of the day, it's definitely going to be tapped in with the spirit, God, and then the crown chakra, 7. And once it gets to 7 years old, most time kids go to school in the first grade at 7 years old. Depending on their births, people have late birthdays, maybe 6, 7, maybe even 8, but most time it's 7. See, 7 chakras, 7 years. You understand? They know this, and a lot of people don't talk about this part of the chakra system. So every 7 years, right, you're gonna be like, how to explain? Every year, of course, you're going through certain phases in your chakras, but what I'm trying to say is once you hit 7 years old, it's going to repeat itself. So once you hit 7 years old, you're definitely in your crown chakra. Your energy in your crown chakra is extremely illuminated. Again, that's why kids get a lot of spiritual energy and start seeing things around this age of 7. Okay? And then the following year, when they hit 8, sometimes 9, but most of the time 8, they're going to go back into the root chakra phase, meaning they're going to come to a realization, okay, I'm in the 2nd grade. I'm realizing I got to buckle down. I'm in school now. I need to start focusing. My 1st grade would just get me in. Maybe even kindergarten for some people, but most time 1st grade, I'm getting in. I'm learning things, alphabet, all right? 2nd grade, all right, I'm realizing, okay, I'm a child. I'm doing this because my brain is evolving now. They don't know this. This is all subconscious, okay? And so they're back in this root chakra trying to ground themselves, realizing they definitely want to be more with their friends, okay? So that's 8, and then it's going 9 years old. They're trying to create things. You might start your kids want to be in sports a little bit more around 9, right? Then 10 years old, they're confident. They done learned some things from being creative. They're more confident, almost too confident sometimes. So they need to realize how to check their ego, but they don't realize this because they're still kids. Then 11, they're in their heart space again. right? 12, they're definitely communicating more. Because think about 12, a lot of kids hit puberty between 12 and 14. They're speaking. They might even realize they're attracted to men or women around this time frame. Not saying they couldn't notice before, but around 12. Then 13 years old, third eye, they might start having another epiphany moment with spirits. I know I've had it. Y'all might have done it too. You might start realizing that there's spirits, or this might be a time where religion's heavily played in your life, depending on your family. And then the crown chakra, 14 years old, you're definitely on it. You're definitely probably like a freshman or something like that, depending on where you are, 9th grade, 10th grade, whatever. And that's what you are here in the crown chakra. You're almost like a complete soul. You're not an adult yet, but you pretty much know what you want to do. 14, you might, and then after 14, 15 years old, it goes back down again. Boom, root chakra. Now you're grounding yourself. Now you might get hit with peer pressure from your peers in high school. This is when the trauma starts coming in, so it's probably hard to ground yourself in high school or in your family around this age of 15. Then 16, you're creating something. You're learning how to drive. For most people, at 16 years old. You got to work through a lot of fear, right? In the sacral chakra, you're also probably big on your hormones. That's why a lot of people get pregnant at 16 because they had sex early. 16 years old, sacral chakra, hello, sacral chakra, right? Then solar plex, confident. Now they probably done had a sexual act or just did a lot of creative things, whether it's school. Now you're confident. Hopefully you're confident. And hopefully you didn't get attacked by people in your school. And this is the time where the universe is probably going to test you with outside people affecting your life, affecting your confidence, your family, self, so you got to make sure you're definitely confident in yourself, because this can damage you. Same thing with the heart chakra, okay? By the time you're in your heart chakra, right? Because I'm going to start this again, 14, 15, 16, 17, you're around 17 years old, you might be 11th grade or a senior, depending on your birthday, if you have a late birthday. You're definitely in a heart chakra. You know who you are. You might be going to college. You might not be going to college at all. You might have a couple of regrets because you went through a lot of stuff already, so your heart might be traumatized or not, okay? And then by 18, you're in your throat chakra. You understand? It's just going back and back and back and forth. Pretty much what I'm trying to state here. And so, again, once you hit like 18, because again, I'm going to start this again. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you're in your throat chakra, right? 19, your pineal glands open. You might start having spiritual awakenings at 19, maybe even college. And then 20 years old, you're back in your crown chakra right before you hit 21. And you know what's sad? You're 20. You're right at this 20-year age, right? Guess what? You're gonna go back to the root chakra. You'll be like 21 years old, and then you get faced with, hey, I can drink now. Do I want to drink? Well, guess what happens? When you drink, you get knocked off your foundation, because you're letting spirits in, because alcohol is spirit. So if you start becoming drinking too much in college or whatever, you might mess up your foundation. As far as school, you might drop out. So you're getting tested by the universe. Are you going to be tested by temptation of women, men, drinking, partying? And I'm not saying that's bad. Yeah, right, 21. And then 22, you might even be more sexual, being creative, or if you don't use it in the right way, having sex a lot, okay? I have to keep putting that out there because we're humans, okay? We're in flesh. And then solar plex, confidence. Now, around this time, you might be like 23, and then you're still thinking about stuff that happened to you in the past in high school. Maybe they're repeating themselves. So if you don't come to the realization that every year the universe is making you focus on every chakra. So the thing about this is we have all these chakras within us, but every year we go through a different chakra, okay? And so, like, if you keep going through times where you don't feel grounded, it's probably because you were hurt as a child from 7 years old, 14 years old, or even a young adult at 21, right? And then again around 27, 28, you might have got knocked off your feet with a bad relationship, knocking your grounding off. But once you realize who you are, it's going to be hard for people to hurt your heart and make you feel bad again. So when you get faced with another negative partner, so for example, say you had a negative partner at 21, and you never healed that for the next 6 years of your life, you might have that happen again around 27. And then because you didn't heal it, you're going to have it again probably around, let me look at this, around 34 or so, somewhere around that time frame. Another 7 years after 27, you'll probably have it happen again at 34, and it's going to keep going over and over, and you're going to think that it's just bad people. No, you have a damaged chakra, and you need to learn how to get grounded and not repeat your old cycles. That's what this is about, but nobody talks about this. They just want to talk about open their third eye and open their crown chakra. It's crazy. We need to learn how to ground ourselves and realize that this is within us. And also as well, this is a side message, because this is all within the body. You also have your star chakra that's connected to your higher self and your past. Okay, the whole time it's always there, like the God source. And you got your Earth Star Chakra, which is the earth connected to your ancestors and spirits of the past as well. And that's why you are able to pick up on things or inherited things from them, from the earth, and also you're able to feel Earth's pain and energy through the earth. That's why you put your feet on the ground, okay? But we wear rubber shoes, so we're not even really touching the ground no more. You understand? They knew this. You know, it's all to a certain extent. I'm not going to say all this was done on purpose, but it gradually became done on purpose, where now it's used as a control mechanism. And so this is the truth. And again, people might want to believe this, but astrology is definitely in the Bible and Islam and all that, whether they know it or not. If you look at Islam, they have a lot of windows and certain things. If you see how they build their mosque, and if you see how the churches are, a lot of mosques have a lot of open windows letting the sun in, right? So whether they pray on the Sabbath, they have the sun, and then also it's like they have the star, you know, and the moon on their, like, certain flags and symbolisms out there on that side of the world. And Christianity uses crosses, but they also have a steeple on top of their churches, which is just an obelisk on top of the church. You know those little long poles? It's a steeple. You know those little long poles on top of the church, the Christian church? Yeah. So they kind of never really got away from paganism, even if they're monotheistic. So that's another topic, but I have to share that with you because we're always connected with the sun, the moon, the stars. There's no way out of this. Once your body has, and your, how should I say, once your soul became the flesh, you're trapped inside of the 666, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. That's what makes you body. That's the 666. You're the beast. And what makes you the beast even more is when you aren't balanced and you decide to, like, be overly promiscuous. You decide to go unalive somebody. You know, you decide to do harm. Yes, and it doesn't mean that there's not, you know, demons or angels out here. They can affect you negatively or positively, or random lost spirits or lost souls or other entities. They can, but it's easier for them to affect you when you're not balanced, and also when you're around negative people. It's karma. And also when you think about the Bible, and they was like Adam and Eve ate the apple, and they didn't know they were naked until after they ate the fruit. That's because they are spirits, guys. So like how spirits, they don't really have bodies. They're not going to know they're naked until some greater power puts them inside of skin, which is very earthly, very devilish kind of energy here. And that's why you're in the 666. That's why if you do believe in negative, demonic, or lower forces, whether you want to call it whatever, they're able to bother you and talk to you and do all this sleep paralysis because you're in skin. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. So once your body leaves your vessel, yes, you'll see them, but it depends on what vibration you are. You might not be in a lower state. You know, so they're just here to mess up your life as a human being. But once you're out of this body, it's not going to be that bad, depending on how you lived your life, of course, okay? So, of course, we're going to have life reviews, and you might go into a heavenly state or a hell state. I'm only saying those terms. I don't really agree with those terms, but because humans have been indoctrinated, and all they know is pretty much heavenly states and, you know, hell states, whether they actually been there or not, or heard it from somebody else who had a life-death situation or story. That's all you have. It's all pretty much assumptions and whatever you perceive. And so whether you want to believe this or not, you can, it's up to you. But this is what the chakras are, and I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people don't talk about this. Okay, it's very important. So that's one thing I want to talk about. So now I will talk about what was the other one I was going to talk about? Oh, decans, right? Deacons or decans, whatever. So, like you could be in Aries, Leo, anything, right? So you could be in October, Scorpio, November, Scorpio. So I'm going to use Scorpio, okay? So I am a 3rd decan Scorpio, right? So when I was growing up, I used to always wonder, why do I feel so connected to the moon, but yet my rising sign is Aries, my moon sign is Leo, I'm a Scorpio, and half my chart, in my natal chart, at least in Western astrology, is mostly, Sagittarius and Scorpio, mostly, okay? Now, when I look at my Vedic astrology, which is the Indian, the other side, over there, my sidereal, I am a Pisces rising, and I am a Scorpio sun and a Cancer moon, a lot of water. Now, when I look at Vedic, it's more accurate as far as when you look at the world aspects of things, and I look at the Western astrology, yes, it can kind of be more worldly great, but it's more like seasonal and more to me, ego from my perspective. But nonetheless, it still works. They still work. But that's not why I found out about me. I found out about me because of my decan. So I am ruled by Cancer, okay? Because I'm a Cancer moon, right? Not just in Vedic, but when I looked at my decans. So I'm a third decan, Scorpio, Cancer. So a lot of times I would see a lot of dark things and be connected to the dark compared to other Scorpios who are born in the first and second phases. So like if you were a Scorpio born before the 13th, you're not going to resonate with me. You might be a second, you might be a decan second of Scorpio, or you might be a first phase of Scorpio. So it's like 3 phases. Every zodiac sign has 3 phases. So you might be around other Cancers or other Leos. You wonder why you don't get along with them. Look at their phases. So they have this thing called decan. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on Google or whatever, type in your birth date and see what decan that is. Decan. So like, say if you're born August the 4th, right, and you're like a Leo, whatever, and you type that in, decan, it should pull up and it's gonna pull the decan up. Or not even that, you don't need to put your date in. Just put Leo. Put Leo decans, Decan phases, and it's gonna tell you. And then once you see your birth date, because they're gonna break it down at between 10 days. They break it because 30 days a month, or most time 30 days, 31 days. They're gonna break it down within 10, and so you'll realize, okay, they're saying I'm on the second phase decan. It's gonna tell you more in depth about you, other than you getting your actual natal chart done, or you just knowing, oh, you got your rising sign, because I definitely connect with this. So look that up. That's a big deal, guys. A lot of people don't talk about that. It's like a secret. Also look at ley lines, look at your astrocartography chart, ASTOR, and then CARTO, GRAPHY, astrocartography chart. That will tell you how the earth lines, the ley lines on earth affect you, and it will show you where to travel at, where you should get a job at, where love is at for you. Like where I live at, Pluto is very heavy here, so it makes my life a little bit harder, especially mainly in love, compared to when I was in San Diego, where my my ley lines affected my sun energy more. So the sun was more prominent for me, energy wise, on the West Coast. And then same thing when I was in Iraq, my sun was very strong. When I was in Japan, my moon sign was very strong. That's because also the ley line. So look at that. You can look on astro.com. I think I gotta type it in, but yes, astrocartography. Look that up. Now, I would also say, side message for anybody in moon phases, if you are into rituals or moon magic. I'm not telling you how to do this. If you're and even if you're not into like candles, if you want to pray or do anything, you want to write a petition or anything, or just if you're just a regular person who just goes to church or whatever, you want to do something new, you don't always have to wait till like the new moon or the full moon to do something. You can do things on the waxing moons. You don't always have to wait to do prayers or rituals only on other moon phases, like the new moon and full moon. I know everybody want to do that. You can do it on the waxing moon, okay? And also, if you're trying to banish the spirits out your house, and even if you're not into like candles and stuff like that, you can pray and do certain sages and use certain sages, and there's other tools you can use, but you can definitely use it on a waning moon, because that's a great time to banish spirits. Like for me, right? I'm also going to tell you guys to look up your moon chart. So like you can Google if I'm not mistaken, like I think it's like moon phase calculator, or you can type in how can I say, birth, like moon calculator. So like moon phase calculator, where it'll show you like what moon was present when you're born. So you could be like my natal moon, how did I say that? I'm trying to think of the site that I went on a long time ago, years ago. It's like a site where you can go on. Forgive me, I'm getting closer. I have so much to tell you guys. But technically, you can calculate what moon was present during your time. And I'm not saying about, oh, you're a Leo moon. No. I'm talking about the actual phase. So like what I'm trying to tell you is find out what moon phase is there. So like for me, I was born on a waning moon. So I noticed in my life that if I pray, even if I don't have candles, I can banish and move spirits out immediately. Like quick as heck. I'm very good at banishing. Now another person, they might try to do it and it doesn't happen for them. They might have been born on a waxing moon. They might notice they can start off things new compared to other people. They're able to do things sporadically and fresh always compared to other people. And then some people might have been born on a dark moon, a new moon, or a full moon. So definitely look into that. Look at also if you are into like prayers, rituals, or anything like that, or if you're just trying to do something new, for example, again, remember I told you you don't have to always wait on a full moon or a new moon. So, for example, say it's a waning moon, right? And that this moon just happened to be in Aries. This would be a very powerful time to move a spirit that's really stuck in your house, because you know Aries is a sign of war. It's fire. It's war. It's very warrior-like. It will be an excellent time to move things out. Also, if you're trying to do something new, again, if it's on a waxing moon and the moon's in Aries, and you're trying to like go out for a job, but you're kind of nervous, this can build confidence in you, because Aries is a very confident sign. So even though you might not be Aries yourself, you can use that, okay, and go ahead and try to schedule an interview that day. Also, look at the days, like again Tuesday. If I'm using Aries right now, but Tuesday is great for Aries because that's ruled by Aries. You understand? If you having problems communicating, look at Wednesday. That's Mercury. Monday is the Luna, the mother, right? It's very emotional time. Thursday is a great time for luck, Jupiter. Friday is Venus. You understand? Saturday is Saturn. You know, this Sunday is the sun god. So it's like the energies, use them and utilize them. Okay, if you're trying to heal yourself, any of that, it really helps. What else? Am I missing anything? I wasn't trying to make this video too long. That's all I'm really hearing that I came to make today. I didn't want to make this video an hour or nothing like that. But I just made it out, this video, because I feel like there's some people asking questions. And also, I will say this, when it comes, if you are into candles, in case y'all are wondering, yes, candles can draw spirits. For people who are just unaware of this, they can, depend on what color and what you do with them, if you bless them, things of that nature. Yes, they can bring spirits in. They're like a phone, like you can call. It's like getting on the phone and call somebody. They communicate to the spirits. Okay. Oh, I did want to say this before I go. I'm glad I thought about this. So this pendant, right? So whether you wear a cross, you wear an ankh, or any of this, right? When most pendant, like if you get a pendant, for example, it's a cross, everybody looks at it as holy. So I'm going to tell you what makes the cross holy. Again, I'm not trying to make people idolize or nothing like that. But if you wear a cross, yes, it can be protected. But I'm going to tell you what makes the cross, pretty much from a lot of people's perspective, seem holy. Okay, from the story, Jesus died on the cross. You understand? Bloodshed. Okay? In a bad way. But they know he was a good person. So now, because you had so many souls, because it wasn't him that said the cross is holy or sacred, it's man. So, because man is in the flesh and we're in the physical world, because we have enough men and women agreeing to themselves, their conscience, that this is holy, it's sacred now, okay? And now it's embedded in humanity's subconscious, especially most people who are very in a religious society that's very Abrahamic. So it's a religious thing. So now that's been turned into something of protection. So when a negative spirit sees that, some might get scared of it and some might not, depending on how strong they are. But they know, hey, this is powerful because it's been ordained that it's holy. Understand? So that's the cross. So now, if I take this pendant right here and I say to myself, I consecrate it, right? It is now sacred. It is now a positive, deflective energy. It's going to deflect negative energies away from me. It's going to bring positive energy because I said it. And also the material, if it's silver, which it is now, or if it's copper, that's what's going to brought to me. You understand? And now, when I leave to go to another higher state, when it's time for me to leave Earth, as far as like pass away, right? If I have a daughter, or if I decide that if I have a niece, or if I have a son, and I say before I leave Earth, like passing, and I say, I want to pass this on to you. You know, this is a very sacred pendant for your uncle, you know. And as soon as I tell her that and I say it was very positive, she's going to believe that, my niece or whoever I have around me. Now they're going to think it's sacred. Now it's been energized. Now they're going to think it's sacred. And then if she passes it on to her children, they're going to think it's sacred. By the time it goes 10 generations down, this is going to be an extremely powerful item. And it's going to be able to naturally move spirits out of the way. And then if I also said to myself that anybody who takes this from me is cursed, they will be cursed. Because I said it. But it's also more stronger the more people who believe that this is going to curse you. You understand? That's how powerful your words are. So there are certain things, whether in the Bible or any other text, that have a lot of valid things that they say when they say watch what you speak, because they can come true, they can manifest. Also, as humans, we create thought forms, okay? So like, you can keep thinking so negative that you create a spirit, an energetic spirit that comes to you. So you might be a person very positive, don't believe in like demons or negative energies, but you can technically a thought form can be formed, and there will be a spirit that will connect to that energy that's left in the astro. And then now you have some type of embodiment of a negative spirit around you or positive. You understand? They don't tell people this because you're not meant to know all this. Now, the reason why I came through this, yes, I've read certain things, but 95 or 98% of this stuff I've seen from my personal stuff, or my guides tell me. I don't ask them, they just tell me. Or also because of my travels throughout the world, as I told you guys before, I was in the military. It's not a joke, it's not a game. And every country I've been to, from Iraq towards Iran, anywhere, I've always made time out to go visit the locals and see what they've been through and how they became as spiritually enlightened as they did. Right? That definitely helped me. But most of the time, 90% of this is all pretty much my guys telling me things, and I feel like possibly my past life, because what happens is, right, I'm a loner, right? So I have so much time that I just think about random things for no reason. I don't like the phone. I never liked the phone. I never liked technology. I hated it. Like, yeah, I'm in a time when we need it. I never liked it. Again, I was born in 84, but I realized I'm going to have to get over that and just go with the flow with the internet. I just don't like it. But, anyway, because I had that mindset of not liking technology, I always had to like read books or just pray. Like every day, because I was heavily religious and heavily Christian before I even did trail, I always was talking to God or talking to angels. Like, I always want to know the truth. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be deceived. I hate liars. I dislike liars. And hate's a strong word, so forgive me. I should say I dislike liars. It's like, and I don't like to lie to people. I don't. So I just look for the truth, and I got, by the grace of the source, God, what not be, is like they blessed with some type of divine knowledge. And I just felt compelled to share this with you guys today. Okay? Definitely, because I've been through a lot, guys, and I just want people to be uplifted, and I can't force you guys to change, but just be cautious of this. And again, even though I'm ending on this note, the biggest thing out of everything I stated in this video today, I definitely want y'all to remember the chakra. So you don't get bent out of shape when you're being affected by negative people. So like, again, we all have those chakras within us, but every year you're going to be faced with a challenge by the universe to like be confident. For example, it might be your solar plexus getting hit up, affected, meaning you might get, again, negative people that's going to test you. Are you going to break today? Are you going to let this man or this woman make you feel like you're not worthy of love? And then next thing you know, it goes in the solar chakra. Now you got a heart chakra problem. And then what's going to happen is, right, it starts off energetically, okay? So I'll give you an example. If you are a person who overthinks too much for too many years, there's a very high chance, it's not a guarantee, but there's a very high chance that you might have had times where you have headaches for no reason because you're overthinking. Maybe you've had arguments because you're also a talker, communicator. You're very much in your Gemini energy. You're just very talkative and all that, right? It starts off as an energy of like you're overthinking. You're not getting headaches and nothing like that. And then eventually that overthinking, over 10 or 20 years, you start getting headaches. Then after a while, from headaches, it goes to a migraine. You understand? And that's way worse than a headache. And then from that migraine, you might get a disease, you understand, where you're like 70 or 80 and you wonder where it came from. They've been showing you signs from the beginning. Your spirit's been showing you the signs from the beginning, but you let people trigger you or you let your own self overthink. That's your fault. Okay? If you felt like you go through a lot of heartbreak, it starts off with the sadness of an emotion. Then that sadness and emotion goes into an energy of depression, or maybe even anxiety, or whatever. And then from that emotion, it actually can form some type of panic attack, which is something slight that's not good. Something light, but it's not good, but it still affects you in a bad way. Then that panic attack could possibly one day, if you keep going through this stuff, can become a heart attack. You understand? Affecting your cardio system. And also, if you keep letting that happen, and on top of you not eating right, okay, that's also feeding that. And then not only that, your vibration's lowering, and then now you got these negative spirits attracted to you, feeding off you. And then you might pass on early, or you might be at an old age coming up with some diseases that are technically their spirits, negative spirits are attached to diseases. You understand? So I don't want that to happen to anybody. But now if you're a positive, it won't happen. And the reason why I know this is true, God bless my mother. My mom's still here. My mom, she ended up in the hospital from having heartbreak. So what it was is she had a mild, slight heart attack. Now, let you know, my mom's very healthy. She's slim. She eats right and all that. My mom's in her 60s. But what happened was, for years and years and years and years of having heartbreak, it's called heartbreak syndrome. You can look it up. I didn't know that was such a thing. And luckily, my mom made it through it and all that. But I'm telling you, that's how it started. My mom got married like 2 times. Been hurt. And my mom looks very youthful. If I brought my mom in here, you probably think she's a college student. But at the end of the day, she still drew negative people. You understand? And she stayed in relationships too long. She gave too much. You understand? So, but now she's great. She's back out there, and I think she's talking to someone right now. So, long story short, that's just a little bit, and I'm using that because I use personal experiences. I don't just come up here talking about, oh, what I saw from somebody else, or because I read something, or I had a premonition. I have experiences because of what I see through my family and my friends. I have, it's valid. I don't like to even use my family in my videos. I'm very private. But, I just feel like people out here don't trust people, and that's just a no-go. Like, yeah, you're not meant to trust everybody. I'm not trying to force things towards y'all to trust everything, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a point, again, like I said in one of my other videos, you're going to have to come to a point where you're going to have to use your discernment. Do I resonate with this? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to come to some type of truth until you find it, not just for yourself, because everybody has their own truth to follow and find for themselves, but as much as we might still want to be on our own, we didn't just come here on earth just to be solo too, though. So yes, we can die alone and pass away alone, but we still came here to uplift each other in some type of form of way, even if it's for 1 minute, right, or 1 second. You're supposed to be here to, like, we're social beings. You're not really supposed to always isolate, meaning like I'm a loner. Yes, I stay alone. I don't have any friends around me doing all this, but when I make these videos, I'm just out here sending love out. Does this make sense? So like if I go to the store, I'm not trying to be friends with the person at the grocery store, but I'm going to say hi, hello if I am in a good energy and I'm, not half asleep or something. I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna greet them because I'm just nice like that. But I'm not gonna sit here and say hi to everybody now because I know some people are not in a good energy and I don't want to argue with people. And the sad thing about this world, most people when you walk by them, they have their head down. And that's when I realized about, especially where I live in America, some very, very rare people, when they have their head straight, they don't look at you, they don't smile. But when I was in Japan, everybody was smiling at me, waving at me. It just shows me also cultural differences. That's crazy, Even with dating, if I went up to a girl to ask for a number, she didn't have all her walls up. It was just easy to get the number and talk. Here, it's like there's so many walls because people have been hurt so much. And it's all because it goes back to the chakras, like I stated before. You get thrown lessons whether you feel like you deserve them or not to build you right, to be more connected with the God source, but also to align your energy so you'll have boundaries up, but also not just about having boundaries. You can be open and somebody comes to you with negativity, but you already know that, hey, I'm going to distance myself. I'm not even going to date this man or woman. You understand? Instead of just opening the door up. And then now you have all these energies. To me, what I would say, the most difficult energies to pretty much let go that I've seen within people that you can't just say no to is when you're a child or even an adult and you've had family kind of like do you wrong, especially as a child. You can't leave the house if your family is slandering your name and you don't deserve it. You can't, it's hard to leave a house if you're getting beat up unless child protective cousins come get you out. So those are situations where that's going to definitely leave trauma, and you really can't, you can be as aligned as you want. You really can't do so much but pray and hope that you get out of that predicament. And my prayers go out to anybody going through that or had to go through that. But again, as hard as it is for me to say that, you gotta look at it as a lesson. It doesn't mean you deserved it, but you gotta understand, you gotta look at that from a higher perspective. When you pass on, when you get older, they're gonna have to deal with what they done to you, your family members or anybody in life, and they might get it during the time once you leave the home. Like you might become an adult or whatever, or you might be in your 30s. They might go, that karma might go towards your family or friends, and if they don't get it, definitely they're gonna see some type of, how can I say, a karmic, they're gonna have to come to like their life review pretty much, and they're gonna have to be shown what happens to them. And I told y'all in another video, I saw my grandfather come to me for forgiveness. I didn't ask that. I've never seen any family member come to me. That's when I definitely know there's some type of counsel that sends them back. I just feel blessed that I got to see that. A lot of people don't see some of the stuff that I see unless they like died. Now, I told y'all in one video, I did have a lot of life death situations. I did have a time where I was pretty much out my sight and all that, and the angel spirits brought me back out of that. But other than my life, that situation and seeing spirits and all that, what really got me through was just like me being open, and I submerged myself in spirit. Like I just let go of the trust and faith. Like I don't. It's kind of like, how do I even say? It's like I made myself one. I know I've explained it to you. It's like I released the will to control every aspect of my life. So even though I have free will, I kind of allow things to happen, as long as it's not gonna be the detriment to my life or me passing away. This makes sense. So I can feel if somebody's negative, but a lot of times they don't notice. But I kind of play dumb just to see how this is gonna play out, and then I'll move away when it's time, because I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, even if I feel something, to see if it's really true. Because I'm a person, I need evidence. I want to see, are they really lying? Or are they really gonna hurt my heart? And then once I feel that energy, I'm going. I'm not suggesting for y'all to do it. I just do that. And I've learned also through my parents. Like, my parents would spend a lot of money. So I already told myself, hey, I'm not going to spend money. They didn't have to teach me that. That's what I'm saying. I was an observer. You know, it's like when I would see spirits in the house, I noticed they kept doing a certain movements every day at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I'm like, why would they do that? Why are they not in hell? Why are they not in heaven? That's because they decided to stay in this house. And then I literally would ask my spirits, and they would tell me, and it all made sense. And then when I would hear people talking about their life, their situation, some of it matched with me and some of it didn't. Because I noticed this, I would tell anybody, if anybody's watching somebody who had a life, death situation, they said they saw Jesus, they saw God, it's all about it's like, you understand. I'm not denying the existence of that, but at the end of the day, it's all about what was already preached to you, indoctrinated in your subconscious. And also whatever you feel is going to save you, the God source will show up like that. It's going to show up as Jesus. It's going to show up as Holy Spirit, if that's what you believe in. Because you understand, the whole world is not Christian. You got people who are a Buddha, right? And I'm speaking off experience, right? I saw Lakshmi. I'm not Indian. I don't do Hinduism. Why did Lakshmi come to me? You understand what I'm saying? And when I was in the afterlife spirit realm, all the times I had my life experiences, experiences, situations where I didn't know I was going to be alive. Why is that here? You understand? It's whatever my soul resonated with. It could also be from a past life. So when people are having past life situations and they saying who they saw, they can make them statements and God bless them. But you can't, just because something was told to you that, all right, there is a hell state, a lot of times the spirit is telling them that's where they're going to go. And they're telling them to make that video, right? To keep people from keep people from coming into that state. For example, when people make a video, it's going to resonate with people who are similar to them. So I've seen guys who are gangbang, did negative stuff. And so it's not going to touch regular people who are living in the suburbs. It's going to touch people who actually shot somebody. So if this person who gangbang had a death situation and they start talking about they saw hell and demons, it's probably because you took a lot of lives, and God or the source, Jesus, whatever, wanted you to wake up, because most likely your aura that you hold, the energy you carry is going to go with those demons and all those gangbangers that kill people. You understand? That's where you're going to go. But they're preaching out of fear because they didn't know what they saw. And so now when you got the average Joe who doesn't do any crime, they're just living in suburbs, they're just a doctor, this scares the hell out of them to get right, which is good, get right with God, but don't think that you're going to go there. That was going to happen to that individual. It doesn't mean you're going to go to hell, you understand, or a hell state. So I would tell anybody, when you see like this situation, you hear anything, it's going to be different for everybody. Because there's people who believed in Christianity and they didn't see Jesus at all. They just saw the light look like a sun. Because I know me, I saw a light, I saw orb, I saw apparitions. I didn't see that energy. So everybody's going to be different. And I feel like it was because of the energy I carried. And because I've always talked to God, I've never, ever had a time where I didn't speak or try to connect with the spirit my whole life since I was 3 years old. No lie. Never. And they came to me even when I didn't want them to come to me. And I never could figure it out. Like I said, going to them decans, man, when I realized I was a Scorpio decan 3, it made sense. And I never understood as a man, not that we can't, why am I so connected to the moon, but yet they say I'm supposed to be connected to the sun, because as men we're supposed to be carrying a lot of masculine energy, but I carried a lot of water energy, you understand? Because I'm also realizing as generations are growing, certain men out here are becoming more sensitive. And I don't mean in a way of, knocking or anything like that, but it's like the feminine energy is arising, and it's also kind of altering the masculine energy and also altering the feminine energy. So now you might see women who are more masculine and men who are more feminine. It's not really a bad thing. What the universe is trying to tell you, that a man right? Even if he's straight, he can be a straight male. He can have feminine energy. It doesn't mean he's weak. It doesn't mean he can't beat somebody up. He's just some more emotional and more concerned for your needs. And then it's also showing that a woman can be dominant. She can fight. She can box too. She doesn't have to be as emotional. And it's showing you that the energy can be interchangeable and they can go in any type of flesh, any type of culture it wants to. You understand? So that's something I want to tell people. And also, I would tell you about the elements. We all have the elements, you know, air, water, fire, all that, right? In a certain extent, because spirit, right, and from my perspective, is just another form of fire. Because your soul, S-O-L is actually, S-O-U-L is actually was S-O-L, which was soul, which is the sun, okay? That's why your body's warm. When you die, you turn cold, right? And we all have these elements within us. That's why in the Bible and certain scriptures say earth and clay. A lot of scriptures, even in Gilgamesh, they always talk about earth and clay and all that, and the water, and on the mom, the mother, the womb, the space. That's the mama. Womb. We came from mama. Asexual energy coming through, right? So long story short, when I'm trying to tell you guys, right, I look at also with cultures. I've noticed that the collective of Asians, right, even if they can be a water sign, sun sign, it doesn't matter. The embodiment of them is air. I've noticed in Africa, or anybody with African descent, they're very watery. Water. It doesn't mean that they're not Aries or that. I'm talking about the dominant energy going through them. Okay? I know it's a lot of Caucasians. It doesn't matter where you're from. Anybody Caucasian descent, it's just a lot of fire, right? A lot of passion. I know it's a lot of Native Americans and indigenous spirits. No matter, indigenous all over really, earth energy. Have you ever noticed that the Native Americans, they always talk about Mother Earth? We gotta save Mother Earth. Father Fox, like, you know, Father Wind, whatever you want to call it. They're saying stuff with nature. Air. We look at the Asians, they're always doing not all of them, but they do martial arts. They're most of them, they've been known to be intelligent, very light on their feet. I'm not going to say all, some are big, but most of the time they have very small bone structures. Air. When you see Africans, right? Water, very emotional people. No offense, sometimes they lash out. They do certain things off their emotions, guys. Their emotions. If you notice, they're kind of like dark and complected. And yes, they can be light like me, but they're dark and complected. Water, when you go down to the depths of water, it's dark, right? And yes, it can be blue, but that's still dark. And then we look at space, it's dark. Water. That's why a lot of people say we came from Africa, whatever you want to say. It's water, it's mama, mother, right? And then we look at the Caucasians, fire, it's passion. Have you ever noticed that, like, the most, I'm not trying to be, I hope this doesn't sound like I'm trying to judge cultures here, but from my perspective, it seems like anything from European or Caucasian descent has dominated society as far as, like, when back in the day, medieval times, they conquering stuff. They're the ones who's making history from my perspective. Not saying Africa, other countries don't, but they have. It's fiery, it's conquering, it's warriors, Aries, it's leading. Jumping off houses and jumping off mountains. You don't see a lot of cultures just jumping off mountains and, you know, skydiving. And from my perspective, it doesn't mean other cultures are not, but sometimes we have to face evidence. It's not being racist or prejudice. It's just facts, guys. We got to hit out our egos, okay? And just wake up. And again, I'm not trying to separate everybody, but I'm just telling you it's very unique. It's beautiful. And then when these people start having mixed children and integrating, now these children, they'll have all these water and fire energies. So of course, they're all in us. But I'm just saying certain cultures hold more weight with the energy, all right? Whether it be with water, fire, and all that, okay? And we're all connected to spirit, okay? We got to understand this. We have to understand this. Just like certain continents, right? Like America, it's a cancer state, a cancer country, I should say. So because they decided to claim their independence, right, during the time of cancer, okay, during July. So they could have chose any date, but they did it. So it's not about if you believe that Columbus really came to America. That's besides the point. Once you wrote those words down and you said that this is what it is, and then you have the collective belief in this, it's cancer. It's very emotional. So even though we go out here and conquer, and America's not the best, but we do a lot. We go out here and do a lot. That's very cancer and very motherly. Or when we want to come off like we're doing a lot, because cancer can be dark. When I look at Russia, it's a Capricorn country. It was established during the time of Capricorn, so they're very cold. Meaning, I'm not saying there's not nice Russians, but like they come off where, at least not from my perspective, but some people's perspective, it's cold. When you look at like 007 movies and how they try to portray them, or pretty much even though it's not true, you know, they stereotype. That's the word. Cold is because of the Capricorn nature. So I would definitely look at the country, look where it's established, look how the people start acting. You start realizing certain people, they definitely act like the energy of that place. And again, I'm bringing cancer and again back to America because America is one of the very few countries that's so mixed and integrated, very motherly and very loving. And even though America has had a lot of prejudice, a lot of racism, a lot of slavery and all that, at some point it came together to have people allowed to marry each other and be friends with each other. And yes, there's still racism here, but we are one of the main countries that's very intermixed. Only a real mother that loves a lot will allow that to happen. It's not many countries doing that. And I'm not stating that other countries should be intermixing or none of that. They can do what they want to do. I'm just telling you the energies make this happen. And this all goes back to my video I made like about 2 days ago where like attracts like. So I had to put that out there. So look at your environment definitely affects you. Again, because this place, this earth, has also collective shadows. So you might live in a city that had a lot of wars back in the 1800s. A lot of souls are still walking around rampant. And you wonder why you feel dark and gloomy. It's because of the city you live in. Maybe you need to move if you can. You can understand? A lot of times also we are born in cultures whether we ask to come here or not, that has come from trauma. You might be in a culture that had slavery, so now you're still traumatized, so you're easily triggered thinking that everything is racism. Whether it is or not, it's all because of that. You can't. One thing I'm learning, we're all brought in these cultures for a reason. We have to, at the end of the day, this is going to be a hard pill to swallow. You have to forgive and forget and let go. How can you forward move if you cannot forgive and let go? All you're doing is repeating the cycle. And even if there's people out here who are really being prejudiced or stereotyping you cannot stop them. You can only worry about yourself. And I will honestly say, as long as they don't put your hands on you or punch you or none of that, keep it moving and keep it going. Seriously. You have to. You're not going to want to hear that, but it's the truth. You, like, right now, as much as we want to live in a loving world, we cannot get rid of all the demons and negative spirits. Everything has its purpose. And you got to remember this. Before they became demons, they were daemons. D-A-M-O-N-S. In the Greeks. Back in the day, daemons were also angels or demons. It's interchangeable. And they can come with any energy they want. That's why I always tell people, when you call angels, be careful what you calling out. Even in the God source. There's a difference between God and the word Lord. Okay? Same thing, how to look at Elohim, El, all that. Come on, guys. So that's all I'm trying to say with that. I really don't want to make this video too long. It's almost an hour. I'm just trying to speak on certain things. Because I don't want, my thing is this, my channel is dominantly tarot, but I don't want to be, like, I like to teach and show things, but I don't want to, like, make another video just for 5 minutes where I can just put it in this video. Nothing's really coming to mind. But that's mainly what I'm stating to you. Again, just be aware of the energies around you. And I'm grateful for anybody who supports me and likes my channel. I'm very passionate in what I do, as y'all can see near the ending. I didn't really expect to go that way with this. Yeah, if you got any questions, feel free. If y'all want me to bring up any topics about anything or go more in depth, just ask me. Don't be afraid. I'm not gonna bite, guys. I'm really a good guy. I'm not perfect, but I do what I can. And I'm still forever learning, just like you guys. And I have reached a certain point of elevation as far as healing, but we all heal every day, even myself. Nothing's completely gonna be fixed. But I'm in a comfortable spot, and I've been through a lot, man. I got a lot of stories. I think next time I might talk about like anxiety and depression, because I've been through that, PTSD. Been through that, life, death. I could tell you about the afterlife. I want to make some more videos about that. But again, I'm not going to stop making tarot and channeling messages for y'all. I might even talk about certain deities. But if you notice, if I talk about religion and also I talk about paganism, is because I realized, and through the comment section, I have so many different kinds of people watching. I got people who are pagan. I got people who are Christian. I probably even, you never know. If I'm not mistaken, I got people who are like Islamic. They just hide it. They don't want to say they're watching my video, but they are. But they've told me though. That's the thing. I've had witches, mages. There's nothing wrong. So that's why and also I'm a very diverse person. That's what I say. Y'all are a reflection of me to a certain extent. We're all kind of to a certain extent. So, and I just want to share that. So again, if you resonated with it, hey, it is what it is. If you didn't, it might not be for you. But everything I spoke is the truth. There's no denying this at all. The only thing about it is if you can wrap your head and your mind around it. You know, you don't have to accept what I stated to you, but it's all truth. It's all facts. Everything I said, there's no way around this. It's facts. There's nothing here that I sugarcoated and ain't calling any lies. It's just more about if you're willing to accept that info. But it might not be time for you to accept this, and you might not ever want to. But that's not my issue. I'm just here to just spread whoever was meant to hear this today. And I just felt called to make this video. So with that being said, my name is Knight, and I wish y'all a blessed day wherever y'all at. Blessed be.